part of me is extremely, I don't want to say the word academic, but very studied, almost like a scientist. And then the other side is you kill that off.
Intuitive.
Very intuitive.
This crisis, we're in this climate crisis.
Right.
We're killing off everything.
Including ourselves.
Yeah.
I think we're in the absolute biggest crisis humankind has ever faced. And the fascinating thing is we don't get it. We don't see it. We don't comprehend it that way.
Is our species too successful? Ignorant?
No, I think our species is wired for immediacy like every other species on this planet. We were given the gift that we can write down and understand our history and our past through our writing. We have a written record to be able to communicate to future generations. We should be able to learn from our mistakes, and we should, in a weird way, intellectually evolve. But then we're so wired like every other species for immediate satisfaction, we can't quite comprehend and say, okay, I'm going to do without today so that my grandkids are going to have what they need.
The one thing you've said is, I'm trying to find poetry in my work.
I think sometimes I actually believe you have to let it find you. I might think about a project, think about a site, think about sort of a cultural site, study it, learn all about it, get an idea of what I might be trying to say, and then I put it all away, and things just come together. And in a weird way, I think the poetry finds me sometimes. Part of me is extremely, I don't want to say the word academic, but very studied, almost like a scientist. And then the other side is you kill that off.
Intuitive.
Very intuitive. But intuitive doesn't mean without thought. It's just that the thought process is nonverbal. It could be happening while you're asleep. I mean, to me, the creativity that might find me after I've had a great night's sleep or I've been struggling with something, you can't solve it. You let it rest, and then your mind is gonna put something together. Is that magic, or is that just, to me, creativity and how we imagine things and how we make things is incredibly magical.
You said every memorial in its time has a different goal.
The goal of a memorial for many thousands of years was, I won, had nothing to do with the individual. That's something that for America was, the veterans wanted it. They wanted to build their own memorial because the government wasn't going to do it. The government wasn't ready to touch this. And again, a sense of modernity to list all the names, which is what the Vietnam vet said, must be on it. That was huge. That was very, very much a 21st century notion, or at least a 20th century notion, that the individual counted. When you go into your studio as an artist and you make something, you don't make a blueprint of what you're going to make. So there's this need to be spontaneous in the making of a work of art at times. And now, if you're working large scale and you're working out of doors and you're working with models and maquettes, how close is that maquette to the final form? And I think for me, I like it when I get to manipulate it up until I'm actually done with the piece. I think with the earthworks, especially, if I don't respond to the immediate surroundings in the full scale, I'll lose something. If the final large-scale work looks exactly like the model, chances are it almost is dead. It's flat. So I need to literally bring it to life in the field.
Without a deadline, how do you know when you're done? Are you ever done?
Oh, absolutely. You know, and I don't know why, and you probably are the same way. Any writer is the same way. It's sort of like we know when it sings. We know when you can't do anything more to it or you can't take anything away from it, and it has the right pitch. You just know.